Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. How are you guys? I hope that all of you guys are in good condition during this pandemic. And of course, in this weekend, I hope you are okay. In this weekend, I hope that you are ready to discuss today's interesting topic about international relations, entitled "Let's Create Our Worldwide Relations in this Globalization Era." This event is presented by collaboration of IYOIN LC Depok, IYOIN LC Semarang, IYOIN LC Solo, and IYOIN LC Surabaya. And let me introduce myself first. My name is Haris Alamdi. I'm from IYOIN LC Surabaya, and now I study at Material and Metallurgical Engineering batch 2019. And today I would be the moderator for today's meeting. And before we start, let me remind you for the webinar rules first. Okay, some committee maybe can help me to share the screen about the rules. Hello, Kak Anin, can you help me to share the screen for the rules? Okay, can you downward a little bit? Okay, for the first one, use username name underscore IYOIN class. For example, me, Haris. If I'm a participant, Haris underscore IYOIN class. And the second one, please unmute your mic during the meeting unless the speaker or moderator lets you to speak. And the third one, dress up in a proper clothes. And the fourth one, I hope you guys turn on your video during this meeting. And the fifth one, if you have any question, just go to the chat box and type your question in that room. Okay, in this occasion, guys, we will discuss this interesting topic with two amazing speakers. The first one is a consultant and SDG storyteller, Kak Ayu Pratiwi Muyasaro. Hello, Kak Ayu. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, you're coming loud and clear. Hello, Haris and
Hello.
IYOIN team. How are you?
Okay, I'm good, Kak Ayu. And what I would call you, Kak Ayu or Kak Pratiwi, maybe?
Ayu, I think not necessarily using
Okay, Kak Ayu. And then
because we are not so different in age, right?
okay.
So you can call me
Yeah,
Ayu.
of course. And then, guys, the second speaker, we have guys from quite far country from India, Mr. Pratam Golcha. Hello, Mr. Pratam. Can you hear my voice? Okay, maybe Pratam is not joined yet. And for the first opportunity, I will give it to Kak Ayu. She is a consultant and SDG storyteller, and she has a lot of experiences about international relations, especially. And these are her achievements and experiences. Okay, please, Kak Anin, help me to share the screen. Okay, let me mention Kak Ayu's achievements. For the first one, honorable mention in the city category for the 2020 EWC Earth Optimism Awards, Southeast Asia in the theme of arts and media. The second one, Uyolo Ambassador Community of Changemakers. And the third one, Field SDG Advocate of My World 2030 Asia Pacific Advocates Program, an initiative led by UNDP Bangkok Regional Hub, UN SDG Action Campaign, and UN Volunteers Asia Pacific. The fourth one, awardee of Young Southeast Asian Leaders Initiative, or WISELY, Regional Workshop Advocacy and Strategic Communications 2020. For the fifth one, Youth Leader for Indonesia, Youth Ambassador of Goodwill in the SHIP for Southeast Asian and Japanese Youth Program, or SSAAYP 2019. Hope that I spell it well, Kak Ayu. What's amazing experiences and achievements, guys. All right, without much longer to wait, let's welcome our first speaker today, Kak Ayu Pratiwi Muyasyaro. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Haris. I'm gonna share my screen to you first. All right. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for IYOIN. I hope I'm mentioning it clearly. For inviting me, for allowing me joining this afternoon's workshop or webinar. I'm really delighted that even though it's on Saturday afternoon, that you might want to be, laying around to rest because it's on weekend, but you guys gave your time to attend this webinar. So I really appreciate it and thank you so much. Okay, what we're going to talk about today. So I was asked by the committee to talk about the worldwide relation overview. I hope that after this session, we all learn together about understanding, defining, and implementing the worldwide relation overview in our own term, in our own definition, so we can apply it on our daily basis. Okay. So thank you so much for introducing myself before. So my name is once again Ayu Pratam Golcha. I'm actually basically a youth leadership enthusiast. I love working in youth leadership activities, in community development, in society work. So basically I work with an NGO and I have been working with NGO for the last, I think, 3 years or so. So basically it's my core, it's what I'm doing at core. And I'm also an LPDP, LPDP awardee. I'm going to pursue my education next year to Wageningen in the Netherlands. And also I'm also a Rising Star, WISELY awardee, and also SAYAP, the youth leader for SAYAP, Indonesian contingent in SAYAP 2019. So that's from my, what I've been doing in terms of youth leadership enthusiasts. So what is this connection with the SDG that I'm doing right now? So how I started my SDG advocacy. So fundamentally, when I graduated in 2015, so you know my age, right? Okay. So back in 2015, I joined a massive climate movement based in Canada, which is Climate Tracker, where I became one of their journalists to publish articles in climate resilience. So from there on, I continue my path in climate resilience, in environment in general. I work as a consultant in environment. I joined with the UNDP, with ICLE, with many organizations, international and also national, especially government. And then from 2018, I found my purpose in SDG by joining 2030, my work 2030 Advocates Program. Before I started in ASEAN region and now in Asia Pacific, collaborating with almost more than 50 advocates from Asia Pacific region. So I found my purpose in SDG by marrying my passion in environment, which is the passion that I've been building since I was in junior high school. And then I married this with my vocation. I think it is my calling in youth leadership. And voila, we got the SDG. So I was asked to talk about worldwide relation overview. So what is worldwide relation? What is international in today's definition? So before international, worldwide relation is all about mobility, physical mobility, right? Using the ship, using cars, using aeroplane. Actually, we are moving. We are moving. You see, on our foot, on using vehicles, so on and so forth. But now it changed a lot because now we are moving not necessarily by physics, but we are moving. It's not supernaturally, but it's more um, something that is not visible, that is moving right now. So before it's all about physical mobility mostly, but now it changed a lot. So in today's world relation, it promotes co-creation, it promotes collaboration. If Indonesia, we call it gotong royong. So co-creation is all about promoting collaboration, partnership, which for all parties, they are having the mutual power and voice to voice their own mind, their own opinion, their own idea. And international co-creation is not an option now. It is what it is now. Don't resist to it, embrace it. So basically, international co-creation is not something that we can afford it. We can, how to say, it is what's happening right now. So you cannot choose that, okay, I'm going to do international relations. No, it's not like that. It's more about, it is what is happening. It is what is happening now. So you can take it or leave it. But if you do not involve in this, you're going to left behind. So that's one thing that we have to highlight today, because we are moving in this direction. So sometimes, so this is the mainstreaming direction that most people in this world are moving towards. So to differentiate our movement, our idea with others, because we have to over something unique, right? To be seen, to be acknowledged, to be admitted. So what is unique about you? What is unique about me? What is unique about us that we can offer to the world that can differentiate ourselves with others? That's one question that we should ask today. So for the simplest example is that even for during our holiday, it's not necessarily about moving physically now. Before when we are doing holiday, we are doing sport on the field. In the afternoon, we are playing football, we are playing sand on the beach. Actually, we are moving before, but now it's more about something else that is moving. So we can actually be in one fixed place, but we can actually travel to any countries, to any time zone using our smartphone. So what we can learn from this is that we are not moving so much anymore physically, but still in a relation, because in a relation, something has to be moved, something has to be transferred. It's all about mobility, movement, transfer, right? But it's not necessarily about physics now, but it's more about idea, purpose. What is your purpose that attract people to come to your purpose? What is your purpose, your idea that engage, that involve people to be self-driven, to be self-motivated, to come to your purpose, to create something from this, to co-create something from your purpose. Since we are now defined as a global citizen, especially since 2015, and we are an active global citizen if we actually contribute to the global agenda, which is the Sustainable Development Goals. So why we are called global citizens? Because we share the same one planet, the Earth. We, in today's, especially after during the pandemic, we should not necessarily using more on our batch from different country, provinces, so on and so forth. But it's more about because we're living on the same planet, which is the Earth. So let's now use more our batch as a global citizen, as an Earth citizen, right? And we are an active global citizen. We are an active Earth citizen if we actually contribute to the global agenda, which is once again SDG. So what is SDG anyway? So before we tap into that, in 2000 we have MDGs. Hopefully some of you have heard about it, I think for sure, because MDG is 8 goals that at the time were considered as the urgency to be accomplished by 2015. But seeing how MDG progressed, especially in 2012, the world leaders gathered in UN summit and thought that, after a couple of years, we were working on this MDG. Well, we have accomplished some achievement, which were very spectacular, but then we think that we should do more in regards to MDG. What we're gonna do after this, after MDG and in 2015. So the world leaders thought that there should be a development expansion from MDG into something larger, something more comprehensive and inclusive, because MDGs was more on tackling poverty, hunger, and it was a real success. But then the world leaders thought at that time in 2012 that they should do something to expand the MDG. So then the SDG was born by 2015 as the expansion of MDG, but SDG has some significance. The first one, SDG, is country-led and community-driven, meaning that it is actually a global agenda, but really enhanced, promotes local action plan, promotes what is this region or city is needing right now in terms of in regards to the global agenda. The second one, it is inclusive movement, meaning local action plan is really an urgency here, and also it offers comprehensive action plan because it has 17 goals, and for each goal, in total, they have 169 targets with more than 200 indicators with a comprehensive strategy and also entry points and focal points. So everything is right there. It's already there in SDG, the strategy, the goal, the indicators, the target, the partner, how to do, what to do, when to do. Everything is already there. As actually, you can Google it. Everything you can find in UNDP, in Bapenas. Everything out there, you just can learn on it and also to implement the global agenda. Together us as one. Now, in terms of how to translate from idea to a movement. So for example, like we have Gojek and also Greta Thunberg, a Swedish climate activist. It always comes from one person, one idea, and then it gets escalated to a larger group as a call to action, which it is involving community together to work on one mutually shared purpose, and then from that it gets expanded once again into initiative involving media, involving larger group, which is media campaign, and then from there on, the idea is translated to call to action, expanded to initiative, and then it got defined and described to meet the stakeholders' necessities, capacity, and long-term vision. So it translates again in larger form as a grand design that should be in line with the policy or communication and law that is already available, applicable in that country, in that area. And then from that, we create movements. So this is what we call leader. So from idea to call to action to initiative, grand design, and then the last one would be movement. Larger group, almost involving all people in the world. For example, like Gojek inspires so many organizations to adopt, especially in Indonesia, the online. We have the transportation, also the Greta Thunberg as really a young climate activist now inspires so many young people to adapt and also to adopt how she is doing her climate activity campaign. So in terms of leader, many are glorifying leaders. So leader is like the salvation, the own salvation, the hero. Well, that's true, but the truth is leaders will not be there if they have no followers, right? Leaders would be called leaders if they have followers. So what I'm trying to say to you is that we are all leaders in our own platform. Maybe you are leader in your home, in your school, in your office. Someone else will be leader in their office, in their country, so on and so forth. But it doesn't matter. We are all leaders in our own capacity, in our own level, in our own platform. So what I'm trying to say to you is that define our own leadership, because leadership is a combination of roles and functions to achieve a purpose. So it's drawn from how you are interacting in one specific group and how you adapt your approach towards the roles and function that you should meet to achieve the shared purpose in regards to your team. So leaders present vision, doers create mission. From that vision, it translates into mission, and then followers promote action. What we are going to do with this vision, what we have to do, that's the followers. And then last one will be talkers, do the stimulation, which they are giving you critics. Yes, I know it's spicy sometimes, but it's sticky sometimes. But without the talkers, we're not able to produce a more efficient, effective uh, goal and strategy to tackle a problem, right? So everyone has their own function, their own roles, and it all benefit to the purpose that we are trying to achieve to tackle a problem in our area. So this is the definition of leadership in my own term. Leadership is a combination of roles and functions to achieve a purpose. So the content would be, what is your team character? How they are interacting? Maybe some of your team members are shy, not so much active in your team. And if you have that kind of personality in your team, how you are going to handle that? What roles that you are going to play to face that character? And in terms of context, what is the issues that your team are going to solve? And what is the common ground? What are the indicators? From matching this content and context, you find your own leadership style, the most appropriate leadership that you can apply to your team. Because in some group, maybe this leader, the same leader, will be more strict, from outside people will see him or her as someone who is angry, very strict, loves to push like a coach. But in one other group, this leader would be more, soft, would be more like facilitating, like a teacher. So it depends on how your team work and also what is the issue that you are trying to tackle. And from that on, because I'm talking about purpose, so what is the purpose? Purpose is, what is your vocation? What is your gift? And it is in line with finding your ikigai. Ikigai means life purpose. Iki means life. Wagai means what? It is a Japanese term. It's a very common term. You can find it everywhere. I think they also have many books published to talk about ikigai, but this is from my side. So ikigai is the meeting point of these four factors for definition of vocation, which is what you are good at, passion, what you love to do, mission, what communities need, what your communities, especially around you, are needing now, and the last one will be profession, what you can get paid for. So a little bit exercise, you can create this table, which is consists of vocation, passion, mission, profession, and you can ask some guidelines question to answer that for each question. For example, what are you good at? Maybe you can draw it from what compliments you frequently receive. For example, if you are often receiving compliments because you have a good public speaking, maybe you're good in communication actually. So you might want to be digging more into your communication skill. Passion, what do you love? What excites you? Who is your model? What circle are you in? Maybe you are in circle more of people with communicator, with leaders, with people who are loving doing art, so on and so forth. So maybe you have passion in art, for example. Mission, what the communities around you are needing now. For example, of course, in general, everyone wants to have well-being, happy, healthy, prosperous. But in specific, especially in area you are living now, what purpose, what the communities are needing right now. Maybe they want to establish a startup to promote local tourism, so on and so forth. And the last one would be profession, what you can get paid for. Because many people are working more on goal, on purpose, but they don't think too much on how this being sustainable. So sustainable would be coming from money, right? Because money is needed, but it's not important. Once again, money is needed, but it's not important because we need money to drive our movement, our project, but it's not the first or the major thing that we have to be scared of that hold our initiative, because money is more like energy. It's more like support driver, but not necessarily like the on and off the on and off button that can cancel what we're going to do. So that's from what I learned. Then yeah, it brings to the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for your participation. I really wish that we can talk about this on our discussion later. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Kayu, for the insightful session, I think. Yeah, as you said before, that maybe some of us are too idealist to live our purpose, a passion only, but we forget that there is something that we need, money, for example, to fit our daily needs, right?
Mhm.
Okay, thank you very much, Kayu.
My pleasure.
All right, guys. After Kak Ayu, we have the second speakers, and he is Pratam Golcha. He is an expert of international relation from India, and these are his experiences and achievements. The first, Best Position Paper Award at Asia Youth International Model United Nations, Malaysia. Chairperson at Da Nang International MUN UNICEF Council, Vietnam. And third one, Chairperson at JLMUN ILO Council, Jerusalem. Fourth one, co-chair at Global Youth Leaders MUN, UNESCO Council India. And the fifth one, official chief facilitator at Global Institute of Youth Development for United Nations, Sustainable Development Goals course, Philippines. Amazing achievements gained from our speakers. Okay, without wait any longer, I will let Pratham to begin the session. Pratham Golcha, time is yours.
Hello, am I audible to all of you?
Yeah,
Am
Pratham.
I okay? So, first of all, it's a good morning from here, from India. It's morning, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to IYOIN. And today, as we know, that we have our session of international relations, how to build international relations, right? So, first of all, I would like to tell you all what actually international relation is. So, we saw how you just told all of you what exactly goes into finding your purpose and, kind of doing all those things that you wish to do always in life, right? Whether it is through ikigai, whether it is through different various other things that you like in your life. And there are various ways you can do it through, right? And we just saw how SDGs could play an important role. Or there are various other factors that we could incorporate in our lives, various other opportunities that can come our way and help us achieve our highest goal and our highest objective. So I think I'll start screen sharing and I'll straight away begin with straight away go to the topic. So is it visible, all of you? Harsh, is it visible?
Yes, it is, Pratham.
All right. So as our moderator, respected moderator, give all of you my biodata or kind of what I am really up to. So to begin with, I am really involved in a lot of youth activities, as it may have been visible over here. A lot of MUNs have been up to chairing. Then apart from that, I am also volunteering at Human Rights Commission in the European Union, along with which I am also okay. So yeah, here you can see that I also do a lot of blogging. That means I have a lot of blogs as well. Mine. I also do podcasting. Recently, I did one for a company in Malaysia. Then also, I'm a UN SDG champion. That means
Why the volume has gone? Why volume has gone, sir?
Hello, Pratham. Okay, maybe Pratham is facing the technical issues.
Yeah, I am here. Okay,
Okay,
I'm
please
at,
continue, Pratham.
okay. So I was saying that let us begin with our presentation straight away. Moderator, is my screen visible?
Not yet, Pratham. It's just your voice and your face, my screen.
Okay, I'll share it again.
Okay, it's already visible.
All right. Is it okay now?
Okay, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Okay. So first of all, I have been given the topic of what are the real benefits of having an international relation. Okay. So I am really gonna be precise over here. I'm just gonna tell you the tips and tricks how we are really gonna go ahead with getting the benefits. Okay, of how actually we can build international relations. And I'm going to talk about a lot of topics over here. But first of all, I'll begin with what we actually get, what are the real benefits of having an international relation. Okay. So, first of all, there is definitely a huge buildup of confidence because anything under the sun, if you really go after your, you can say you transcend your boundaries, or if there is something that you do for more than your capacity, you obviously gain a lot of confidence. So this is one of the main things that you gain, and that can really build up as a stepping stone for your further endeavors. Then the second would be the development of meaningful relationships or contacts. So networking, the word itself is such an ambiguous or such a vague term that there's nothing precise in it. Okay, it incorporates a lot of factors, a lot of things, and first of all, we need to be really clear about what relationships and contacts actually are. So what we mean by relationships and contacts are really building up those opportunities where you interact meaningfully with people whom you wish to connect with, whom you know that can be as a stepping stone for your future endeavors. Okay. And when we talk about the third one, that is the varied dimensions of viewing things. So, for example, if in my country, India, there is something that is viewed differently, it is obvious that the same thing is not going to be there in Indonesia, in any other country of the world. So it depends upon society to society how you actually how you actually perceive and view things. Okay, so for example, if you say that walking on the beach, in just 2 weeks is something that is very much prevalent in the West. That may not be there in our Asian society, in India or in Indonesia or in Japan or any other country. So what I'm saying is that it depends upon society to society how you perceive things, how you view things differently, and that can only happen when you kind of network, when you meet a lot of people from different countries. Okay, and moving on to the fourth one, that is access to the fresh ideas. So access to the fresh ideas, this is also a very ambiguous term. So it's very important to really focus on what you wish to achieve. So there are various organizations, there are various individuals, okay, who have got a lot of things that you can imbibe upon, that you can chew upon. So it is up to you how you use those resources fruitfully, how you take the best out of it. And fresh ideas, in a sense, it means that you keep on exploring, you keep on doing creative things. Okay. Okay. And the fifth one is the broadening of the perspectives. Okay. So when you talk about the broadening of perspectives, it's very important to understand what really the broadening of perspective means. Okay, so when we talk about broadening of perspectives, it's important for us to understand that perspective is not just one dimension. Okay, uh, perspectives are of various different types. For example, like if I'm a psychology student, so it's very important for us to understand what really are the different perspectives that go into viewing a single thing. For example, just like I gave you an example, what may be right for me here in India may not be right for you there in any other country of the world. Probably, if it's Europe or if it's America, it may have a whole different point of view from that. So international networking lets you kind of create these opportunities where you get to meet different people, where you get to know what perspectives really are. And when you interact, when you get to know about different cultures, when you get to know about different people, and when there's a lot of interaction going on, you automatically kind of open your perspectives. You automatically kind of start imbibing upon all those things that were always right for you, but you just waited for the right opportunity. All right. Um,
Is it enough, Pratham, or you have the other screen?
yeah, I do have. There was just a technical glitch, and I'm sharing the screen right now. Is it visible?
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah,
Okay.
it is.
Okay. So now when we talk about what different skills are needed, so there are various different things which incorporate, for example, your own personal skills. Then there are various other things that in the age of technology that you need to really access. Okay, so the first thing that you really need, the main prerequisite is appropriate infrastructure. So before you just move ahead with anything, whether it's international networking or whether it's anything, you need to have an appropriate infrastructure, which includes a proper laptop, a proper Wi-Fi, computing skills, which is the main prerequisite for anything. So in the age of technology, and more so now when we are in a COVID era, where everything is online, when everything is turning to virtual events, so it's very important for us to have an appropriate infrastructure. So, for example, if I'm holding a meeting right now, if I'm speaking, so it's very important for me to have these in order to move ahead. Okay. And now, when I talk about the second one, that's the communication skill. I think this is the most important thing, uh, as far as networking or anything is concerned. So there are four stages to it. Okay. First of it is listening, then it is speaking and reading and writing. So just to tell you all an instance, I know, like for example, it's the 8 languages. I can understand more than 14, 15 languages. Okay. So the first thing that you really need to understand in a language is how do you kind of listen to the language. The inputs are really important. Okay, so you can take an example of a small child. How does a small child know the mother tongue? It goes by listening, and by listening do you know how to speak, because we humans have a tendency of imbibing things, of absorbing things into our own perspectives, into our own minds. Okay, so listening, then speaking, and then third one is reading. Okay, so for example, if you go to a foreign country, it is not the writing skills or the reading skills that they may test you upon. If you land at the airport, okay, the first thing that you need to do is you need to speak, you need to listen and understand what the person is saying. So reading and writing are things that come way later. So first of all, you need to pass these two prerequisites of listening and speaking. All right. So communication skills does not only include these four factors. There's a lot more to it. And as I said, that these are really vague terms. These are really ambiguous. There's a lot of weightage that these things hold. Okay. Moving on to the third one is the know-how of the concerned country's culture, language, context, etc. So as I was saying before as well, that it's not necessary what is right in my country would be right in your country as well. Because we know we Asians are kind of very different when it comes to our cultures, when it comes to our traditions, when we compare it with the West, when we compare it to Europe or America. So it's important for us to understand each other's culture, and only then we can, correctly interpret the other person's perspective. Because it's really easy to, kind of for us to understand the other's perspective is wrong, because we have our own preconceived notions, right? So we need to really shed that off. We really need to put an end to the barriers that our thinking has, okay? And get to know the culture, get to know the language, get to know the context in which it is correct, okay? Then the fourth thing is the aims and objectives need to be fulfilled. This is also one of the most important things, because until and unless you have an aim, you have a proper objective, you have a proper way of reaching that, until and unless you've actually made your roadway to the journey, you are not going to fulfill not only international networking but any of your dreams and goals. So there's a saying that goes as foolish is the one who doesn't have an aim in life. If you go through all the different books, the self-help books that are available in the market, the main thing that they focus upon is having an aim in life, because there should be something for which you need to work on in your life. There should be something for which you wake up to every morning. There should be something that keep the spark inside you, that should not let you sleep. And that is what is the most important thing that incorporates, you can say, international networking and all the other things that forms the basis of our living. And the fifth one is the development of a networking plan. As I was saying, that aims and objectives. So it's not merely the aims and objectives. They can be just kept as dreams. Dreams. We have so many dreams that we have in our life. We want to fulfill this. We want to fulfill that. But ultimately, there should be a networking plan. There should be a roadway, a map that needs to be precisely, uh, drawn by us to understand how we really need to fulfill our potentials to the fullest. Okay. Uh, Now I'm just going to talk about my experience with building an international network. So these are personally my
Yes,
experiences.
motherfucker.
All right. So when I talk about my experience of building an international network, this is something very, very personal of mine. These are purely objective views. Okay. So these may apply to you, these may not apply to you, but the most important thing is how you can take or imbibe these things or absorb things from different perspectives and use it in your own way. Okay. All right. So first of all, again, I start with communication. So I really rely on my communication skills to move ahead. And to be really honest with all of you, I didn't do a lot of emails to go directly to Cherek. It was just a couple of them, probably the first in Malaysia. And what got me over there is purely my communication skills of reading, listening, speaking, and writing. So if you know how to speak well, if you've got a good command over the language, if you know what you're talking, if you know what your purpose is, so that is one of the main things that comes under the realm of communication. The second thing is meaningful long-term professional and business relationships. So when you do international networking, you not only meet people just to fulfill your own needs, just to make your personal experiences, but it is also for profession and for your business relationships, because you never know ahead in life which contact may come in way of yours, and you might need to just interact with them. Okay, so it's very important to keep up relationships, whether they are personal relationships or whether they are professional relationships. And there's an important need that you don't mix these two, because they are two different things. Okay, you don't bring your work home, or you don't take your home things at work. Okay, those are two different. Those are two different things. Those are two different places. So you need to respect. You need to give the due to each and everyone. Okay. Now moving on to the third one, that is collaborations and partnerships. So this is as a result of the professional and business relationships that you make. Okay, the collaborations and partnerships is a byproduct of the relationships that you form, because of course when you are networking with people, you are actually building partnerships and collaborations. Then the fourth one is shared interest. So this is a very common thing that you all might be knowing, that when you interact with someone, you always interact with like-minded people. You wouldn't go out of your comfort zone and interact with someone whom you don't know anything about, for which you're not interested in. So it's important that you have shared interests, that your interest and the person with whom you want to interact, or the team or the organization that you want to interact with, fulfills your own perspectives, fulfills or is in line with your own preconceived notions. Then moving on to the next one, that is youth opportunities. So as I said, nowadays it's mostly about doing everything virtual, right? So when you are online all the time, so it's important for all of you to just Google these opportunities, because it's become so easy in today's time, in today's technological age, that you just type it out on Google and you get 100 results for one single thing. So it's very important for you to search, first of all, inside yourself, that what you wanna, actually get from yourself, what you wanna, what you wanna achieve from your own potential, and just type it out on Google. Just research it out, and then you can really connect with the youth opportunities, because we know that youth is the main icon. Youth are the main people who are going to forward this world. It rests upon our shoulders, on mine, on yours, on everyone's who's here. Then the next one is growth factors. Again, this is a very, very vague term. What actually is the meaning of growth? Growth here, I mean reaching your fullest potential. As Ayu said, whether it is through ikigai, whether it is through various other forms such as meditation, whether it is through visual thinking or meaningful contemplation, it depends upon you. So there's one book that I advise all of you to read, that is of Robin Sharma. It is known as The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. So it is one book that is my personal favorite, and that incorporates all these things that I'm talking about. There are various ways that you can do through it, for which you can realize your own potential. You can really grow in your own dream. Okay, so these are a few suggestions from my side. Moving ahead, regarding the overall development of personality. So when all these objectives and aims are fulfilled, when you really achieve what you are made for, you as a result develop your own personality. Okay, so development of personality does not only include one dimension. Your personality is composed of many different things: your attitude, the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, and all those different things. Okay, and the next thing that we move up to is cross-cultural and international exchanges. So what I have learned through international networking is that you will get to meet so many people from so many different walks of life, so from so many different cultures, from so many different backgrounds. So that is how you expand your scope. That is how you kind of network with other people in order to achieve the fullest potential of not only yourself, but even with the people whom you are kind of networking with. Okay, and the last one, which is my absolute favorite. Okay, the second last one, the penultimate one we'll go up to, is the potential entrepreneurship and startup resources. So this is something very optional, because it's not necessary that the one with whom you are networking, you would necessarily be occupied with entrepreneurship or a startup. But it's happened with me. It's my personal experience, because I've grown one of my own MUNs in my own city as an entrepreneur. So these are various things where you can cross network and you can build upon your contacts. So that is why it's very important for you to communicate, for you to keep up with your relationships. Okay, that's the key to international networking. Let me assure you. All right, moving on to the last one, that is understanding of different cultures, languages, religions, and lifestyles. So see, all these are really interconnected things. Okay, these are not having different boundaries to each other. They are overlapping points which you will need to understand in one context of the other. Okay, so when you understand different cultures, when you understand different languages, that is how you kind of are more acceptable to different people. For example, if I am sitting in India and I'm not accepting of the West, I'm not accepting of the modern world over there that is going on, I'm not accepting of more inclusivity in the society, I am like a closed minded person, I cannot go ahead in life. I cannot build international relations. I cannot build networks. I cannot build partnerships because I have myself not understood what really cultures and languages are. If my religion is something else than yours, that doesn't mean I demean your religion. Okay, I may have a different perspective to it, but it's important for me to step into your shoes and understand from your perspective what actually you're saying is right from your perspective or not. If I have a different culture from yours, if my country teaches me something else, it does not mean that I disrespect you. And that is the main thing in relationships, whether it is personal, whether it is professional, or whether it is through networking or whatever domain it may be of your life. So it's very important for you to understand. Okay, be acceptive of it, be inclusive of it. Okay, Harris, I think this is it for me for the content part. Moving on to the questions, later on we may go ahead in the next section as we have decided. Okay?
Okay. It's such an insightful session, Pratam. Thank you so much for your sharing session. And now maybe I have some questions for both of you, for Kak Ayu and also Pratam. But maybe the first one, I will ask Kak Ayu. Hello, Kak Ayu. Can you hear my voice?
Hello. Sure.
Okay. I have some questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one is, we as a student, right? Maybe we have no experience yet about anything that should communicate in international relation or something else. But what should we prepare? And for me especially, I really love to explore myself, and I hope that one day I have an experience in international relations. What should we prepare to get international relation experience?
Okay. Um, that's a really good question. So how to prepare in international relations? So actually you are doing right now. You are preparing right now. For example, like today's webinar. Because like I said before, that international relation is not something beyond us like it was before, but it is what is happening right now. So you can take it or leave it. That's the only choice that we have. It's not necessarily about we are opting for international relation, but it's more about how we are going to maximize this international relations. So that one point. The second one would be how to maximize this opportunity, this what is the world is happening right now. So like I said before, find your ikigai, find your purpose. What is this unique thing that it is the only you that you can do that? I mean, for example, everyone can sing, many people can sing, but the only voice, the unique voice that can produce from your mouth is only from your mouth, right? See what I mean? I mean, there are always people who are smarter, who are always more skillful than you, but there's no one that can replace you. So just be you. That's one thing that many young generation, many young people, many younger people are always complaining about, because they think, oh, she's more beautiful, he's smarter than me, he's this and that, blah blah blah, but never going within. So find the voice within you. What is unique thing about you that you are able to overto this world? So that one, the second one, find your own mission. How to find that? Exercise your ikigai. What is the passion? What is your passion? What is your vocation? What is the mission? What is the best profession that you can have to start your mission? And this is not one night homework. This is ongoing process. So for example, like I myself, I cannot define my thing when I graduated in 2015. So I at that time I was also clueless, like what I should do. I think I am gonna do broadcasting. Okay, I did broadcasting, and then next thing I know, I'm gonna do maybe pageant. Next one thing I know, maybe I'm doing this competition. Maybe I apply this job, this and that. Like multitasking. Like everyone, what are you doing? Stop. Okay, but that is ongoing process. So enjoy your journey, especially when you graduated. When you are on final year, this is like like quarter crisis, right? So if you're not careful enough, it's gonna hit you, crash you really hard. So you're gonna have to be more careful. Um, enjoy, how to say it, enjoy, just embrace your journey. It's gonna be stressful. Yes, it's gonna be stressful, but please do not make it more depressing to you, because uh, how I cope with my own crisis during my journey from 22 to 25 is by having a solid support system. If you cannot have that from your own family, find others, maybe your friends, maybe from book, maybe from TED Talk, maybe from like doing this webinar. What I learned is that when you want to be happy, when you want to create something, help someone else. So you solve your own problem by solving others' problem. From that on, you can find different perspective to incorporate to your own problem. That's what I learned. So if you are now student, you want to contribute, you're looking for what is the best way to contribute to this world. Find your own ikigai, find your own purpose, going within. It's not one night homework. It is ongoing process. It's gonna end when your time ends in this world. So enjoy your journey. It's gonna be tricky, yes. It's gonna be stressful. It's gonna be, sticky a little bit here and there, but that's the challenge. That's life. So just enjoy.
Okay, so you mean that perhaps we are graduated from university, it's okay to wait for some moments to just cope with ourselves, something like that, or
Sorry, come
we
again?
don't need, or we don't need to in hurry to, for example, apply in many jobs if we do not comfort with that things, right?
So I always say to my mentee, especially when you are on age from 20 to 25, try things out. If you are comfy financially, I mean, you have support maybe from your parent, maybe you have your own business, maybe you are supported by your family. You can try things out easily, right? Because you're not necessarily concerned about money. But if you're not that comfy, like I was before, do the 9 to 5 jobs, okay? And then by evening, do your thing. Find your thing. Find the things that you are naturally attract to. Do your thing by evening. So I know it's crazily exhausted, but that's the cost. Because if you want to have more results, more efforts, that's the normal law that this world is having. So no pain, no gain. That's for me.
Okay, thank you, Kayu. Maybe now I want to move to Pratam. Hello, Pratam.
Yes, I am.
Uh, from your CV, I know that actually you are even younger than me. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, I
And
am basically a teenager, and that is, many a times the first thing that I am asked is my age. And when they hear that I'm still a teenager, then there are so many questions like, how did you get here, and this and that. But I really think that it's such a surreal journey when you begin from such a small age. I should have begun, I think, from the age of 15 or 16, but it's been late now. But nevertheless, it's better late than never. So what I think, Harris, is that there's no age limit as such, because you can get a job at even 35. You can even find your purpose if you're 40 or 50. So that doesn't stop you from living your life every day. It shouldn't become an impediment in your way of living. You may find the love of your life at probably 10 years of age. You may find the love of your life at probably even 15. So that does not mean that you keep yourself unhappy and wait for that moment where you could be happy, okay? So every moment is to be cherished, every moment is to be happy, and every moment you need to build relations with people, because living in life, you cannot always be ignorant, you can't always isolate yourself. So it really means that you really need to connect with people and bring a smile to people's faces as much as you can, because you never know uh, uh, how and why a person can, cross paths with you, or what actually can, sorry for being a little more philosophical, because everything is related to philosophy, right? So being a psychology student, I can really kind of incorporate psychology, philosophy, and all these things, because what you were saying and what I you said is finding your ikigai is very important. Finding the purpose of life is very important, whether it is through the Japanese way of ikigai, whether it's through the Indian way of systems, whether it's through your own journey, make your own journey, because there are no clearly defined systems in life. Okay, there are no rules that need to be followed. Okay, and I just want to say that it's very important for you yourself to realize it shouldn't be that your mom, your dad, or your friends are telling, oh, you should do this, oh, you should do that. It should come from within. For example, it's very common in our Indian society. Okay, to or even the South Asian society, that there are parents who want the child to this or that. For example, in India, it's mostly engineering because we are an IT hub. So it's always that you got to do your engineering after 10th. Okay, it's like 11, 12. You got to take physics, chemistry, maths, and then after that, it's a 3-year course of engineering. So I hope whoever is over here in the meeting arrangements, they would really, the just be affirmative of what I'm saying. So it's really a journey. It's really a cycle that you complete in your life. And okay, Harris, I really need for you to just give me a question, otherwise I can just keep going on this philosophy. So just
Okay. Uh, the second question for you is like this: as in your young age, how do you start? How did you start to be brave to convince yourself to start an international experience?
all right, but I'll just give you a gist of what my journey has been. Okay, so as I was telling you in my experience that I was a delegate of Asia Youth International Event. Okay, so I want to tell you all that my circumstances were such that I could never ever make it over there. Not because of financial crunch or not because of my parents not allowed me, because of my own circumstances. Because I am single child, I have been brought up in such a kind where I have been overprotected in my life, where I have not even been kept alone at my home. There's always someone to pamper you. There's always someone looking after you, so you're never alone. But then taking that first step is very important. That first step is the step that really counts. Okay, because unless you challenge yourself, until and unless you really take up that you have that fire in your belly to do that, you're not going to proceed. Okay, so my journey personally was such that it was just a fluke. Okay, it was just a fluke. For example, I was just sitting, I was just scrolling through Instagram. I found the ad of Asia Youth International, and I just followed it up. I filled the form, and everything happened in place, and the rest is history. So the important thing is taking the first step, and even more important after that is how you build up over it. Okay, you need to build up one over the other, because you're not just doing it just to fulfill your own ego, just to feed your own ego, as that is called in psychology. So the most important thing is how you take it, from where you take it upon. Okay, I could have just done this AYMU thing and just sat at home and done nothing after that. But what I made sure is that I build up over it. I include more and more things in the readings, opportunities in the room. You can say networking, how I can improve upon my own personality and reach my highest potential, whether it's through joining organizations, whether it is through volunteering, whether it is through anything. But the thing is that you need to begin from early childhood. Probably many of you are, I think, I must be the youngest over here in the law, but that doesn't mean that. You start questioning yourself as to why I did not start from the beginning. As I said, there are no notions that you should have a proper job by 25. It's just that we have made it as a society. Okay, and we need to change our own perspectives. Until and unless we change our own perspectives, the society would not move ahead. And it really begins from the grassroots level. Okay, it's you. It starts with you, then it starts with your family, then it begins with your society, then you become as a nation, and then it's in a bigger scheme of things. I hope you're understanding me. So it's very easy for me also to go and contemplate back and say that, oh, I should have started it really early. I had the skills before as well. No. So all of you over there thinking why I did not start, why wasn't I doing all this that I am doing right now, or probably some of you must not be doing anything at this point in time, and it's absolutely okay. So you need to go and reflect what you like, what is your liking, what is your passion, and work upon it. Probably there are so many tests available, being a psychologist student, I can tell you there is a 16 personality test that is available. Do that. Go to a counselor, go to a psychologist, go to some person, and if you cannot find it by yourself, go through analytical methods and find it. And probably by that you can begin your own journey, because in our society, I'm so proud to be an Indian. I'm so proud to be an Asian, most importantly, because we have such an inherent family system. It's not that the child is grown like a teenager, unlike in Europe. The child grows like 15 or 16 and he moves out of the house and makes his own life, has his own girlfriends, finds his own job. But that's not the case here in Asia. In spite of growing for 20, 25 years of age, or even 30 probably, we have a closely knit family system, right? Even if you aren't working, there's your family, there's your father, there's your mother, there's such a big family who's supporting you from behind. And that's the most important thing in our Asian society, I should say, which is not present there in the West. See, so it's important for us to understand our perspectives, and yeah, that's all I have to say. Sorry for taking up so much of time and going into so many layers, but it was important for me to make all of you understand what really a perspectives mean. So yeah.
Yeah, of course. Never mind, Pratham. So you say that to start, we just start in early age, and then we can find ourselves first, right? Okay, and then I want to move to Kak Ayu again. Hello, Kak Ayu.
Hello again.
I want to ask you a question that it's really in my mind. Despite the language, or maybe some of us are doubt with our capability to speak English or stuff, but in your experience, do you think that Indonesian youth capacity is less than the other country, or we can balance, or even we can greater than them? What's your experience?
So if you notice from the first start I began my presentation, I actually did some grammatical errors. So I actually have still having my mistake in English, and that's okay. I mean, especially from the native speaker, because every English speaking person, they have their own dialect, their accent, and sometimes it's really not crossing so clearly to us, the foreigners. I mean, I'm saying from this perspective, we are not speaking English. We're not native speakers. So if we can speak English a little bit, speak a little bit, that's really good sign, because we can speak in two different language, and that's really good start to begin with. And if we're not really good on that, that's also so normal, because that's not our origin language, right? So use that mindset and challenge yourself to harness on English speaking, because like it or not, English is international language. So you might want to be delving into it if you want to if you want to maximize your own international relation. That one thing. So if you ask me, is it really important? Is it really necessary? Yes, it's necessary, but do not make it as a depressing point if you are not on that level, because we are on learning process. We are growing, we are learning every day, and that's okay. I think that's from my side.
And how about our idea or our thinking skills?
Okay. I think many people see that cultural shock occurs when we are living abroad, right? But actually, cultural shock happens even in our country, domestic cultural shock. So it's not necessarily that because we are from different country that we have to use that difference to have a conflict, to have a cultural shock, because actually we are same. From my perspective, from my experience, when I work with multiple people from different countries, diverse background, the difference only show up from language, from characteristic personality, which is we are having it, right? Even from Indonesia to Indonesia, even with my sister, we have different character. We are born from the same mother. we are raised from in the same family, what we're still having difference still now. We're still finding common ground. So that's okay. So in that case, between sisters in the same family, we are still having differences. So it's really natural that we are still having difference to people that coming from other country, right? Not raising in the same family, never met each other. So use that mindset that it's okay that we have that difference, that we still have struggle, that we're still having challenge. That's okay. And from then on, calm yourself, enjoy your journey, embrace all the shift, the U-turn, the twerk, the zigzag way that you're having when you are starting your journey in international relation, and just embrace it. Use it as your investment that one day it will pay off. Maybe not right now, but later in maybe 5 years, 10 years, you're gonna have a one that is worth it.
Okay, thank you, Kak Ayu.
My pleasure. Santai
Uh,
aja.
uh, I know that you are a chemistry student, right, in university. So, do you enjoy in learning chemistry, or or maybe something like this? You choose chemistry in your passion first senior high school time, or it's from parent suggestion or something else, or you inspire yourself?
So it was my choice. I selected chemistry when I was in my uni bachelor degree. Like so many students that we are hearing, salah jurusan kak, seperti itu ya. But to me, at the time, I almost saw that because I was still young. But then when I graduated, I see that it's whatever path that we have been taken, it's never wrong. It always redirect us to another direction that is better for us, to get us closer to the divine purpose that the God is trying us to get there, right? So what I'm trying to say to you is that when you see your journey now, your path is kind of already kayak nggak jelas nih kak mau kemana, kiri nggak jelas, kanan nggak jelas gitu kan ya. That's okay. It is the best way, the best path that God gives you in the time being. So just make the most out of it, optimize it, and embrace it. I mean, don't be, like so strict, so rigid that because I want to be a consultant, because I want to be an advocate, because I want to be a lawyer, that I have to take this step from A, B to C to D to E. Because life is all about zigzag. It's never like straight line. It's always like U-turn, zigzag. Sometimes you have to pause. Sometimes you have to take a break, and then you get the U-turn, and then you have to left, right, to go left, to go right. Sometimes above, sometimes below. So just enjoy it. That's life.
So I've been in that position. So it is okay to not have a clear screen for our future? Maybe it is okay, in your opinion.
Do not go so it's good lesser focus on goal, but sometimes your today's goal is not gonna be your best goal in the future. So your goal right now is trying to get you to other goal, another goal till your time ends in this world. So what I'm trying to say to you is that having goal is really good because it drives you to wake up every day, because it makes you move. Because when we have no goal, what you're trying to do right now, what you are doing today, right? Like today, if I have no goal, like today I just want to lay around because today I have goal to carry out this webinar. That's why I have to embrace, to get motivated, to do preparation, something like that. But when I have no goal, I'm just doing laying around, slazing around, slacking around. But if we have goal, it drives us, motivate us to keep moving. But do not so lesser focus on that goal, like worshiping the goal more than worshiping the one that gives you that inspiration to have that goal, which is the God. So when you are worshiping on that goal, you're gonna be stuck very easily, like because maybe it's not gonna be achieved right now, this year, maybe later 5 years. So you're gonna be stuck. You're gonna be like a hiatus. You are basically frozen, freezing, right? So what I'm trying to say to you is that having this goal, long-term goal, short-term goal, medium-term goal, going from there, and whatever path that is revealing to you by itself, take it as a way on how to make, thinking this way. Okay, maybe you're not in a position or in situation that you are expecting to be, but whatever that is having right now, see it as a milestone to deliver you to the best path that is God is preparing to you. So do not resist to anything that is feels or seem like already, by walking aimlessly. Don't be like that. Seeing it as a milestone to build one path to another path to another one, because life is more about progressing, about process rather than destination is later on, because this earth is only temporary place, right? You're not gonna live here forever, right? I never heard someone will live here forever. Never heard about that. Tell me if you have ever heard about that. So what I'm trying to say is that it's just you gotta have a goal. Make it as what you are trying to go. You're trying to do, because if you're not having goal, you're not having this life. You are just walking around aimlessly. So when you have that goal, looking forward to it, but then do not be so rigid, do not be so sticky to it, that make you freezing around, that make you less self accountable to your life, like making your parent, for example, because I see a lot of younger people will be, I don't want to do this work because it's not my passion. I don't want to do this. I don't want to take this job because it's not my passion. Passion is energy, it flows, so it's not sustainable, it's not permanent. For example, I'm passionate today about advocacy, about working on SDG, but I don't know, maybe 5 years later, I'm going to do stylish or makeup, I don't know. So what I'm trying to say to you is that passion is temporary. It's good to having it because it gives you motivation, but do not worship it as your sole direction that make you freezing, that you don't want to look around. You just only look there forward. It's gonna make your neck stiff, like physically, and it's gonna make you tired, so tired, because you don't want to see, you don't look around, because everything is happening. It's not only where you're going, it's also happening around you. And sometimes, more than often even, what is happening around you is really matters, more matters even from what you are trying to go. So enjoy your journey, be happy, be happy easily, don't complain too much in this world. That's from me.
Okay, so it would be better to if we have goals, but don't be too rigid about it, right, Kayu?
Come again. You are breathing before.
Uh, yeah, having goal is good for us. It would be better to have goals, but don't be too rigid about our goals. We have to be flexible on it.
You're gonna find your own it might be too difficult to understand from your age, because I also have that experience. But when you learn from time to time, you're gonna understand your own, how to say, your own style, your own natural inclination, when you're gonna have to stop, when you have to move, when you have to take a break, when you have to quit, maybe when you have to reevaluate. You're gonna know your own apa ya bahasanya ya, how to say, your own natural inclination, your own natural style. You're gonna know that from learning by doing, right? So what I'm trying to say to you is that finding ikigai, finding passion is not like one night homework. It's not like, like doing your thesis. No, 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 no. It's ongoing process. You're gonna have to do it every day. You're gonna have to reevaluate, recalibrate it, redefine, reassess. It's nonstop learning, and from that experience, you're gonna find out what is the best style, what is the best definition of goal, of the purpose for you. What is the best definition about life that you're having for yourself and for the people around you.
Okay, it's amazing for me personally. I really wondering about that things, and now I want to move to Pratam again. Hello, Pratam, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I have a question for you. As you said before that by having international relation experiences, it can broadening our perspective. And in your opinion, what did you feel? What's the difference from Pratam before having this experience and now? Maybe
Yeah.
can be answered by Kaayu also after Pratham.
Yeah, so one thing that I really wanna take over from what Ayu said is she said so very true that is prevalent in our Asian society that English is given so much of importance that if you don't know English, it is meant that you are illiterate or you're this and that. So I know, I understand my English is very different from that of Europe, or I should say, our Asian style of speaking in English is very different from that of Europe. But it's important to understand that our local languages are so important. It's important to understand that my country's language, Hindi, your country's language of Bahasa is so very important to the country's identity, because I have so many friends over there in Indonesia. They speak such a different brand of English that probably I don't understand. So it's very important for us to get this conceived notion out of our minds that English is a predisposition for us to judge people. So this, I really hope all the people over here listening in this ION class really imbibe upon what I said and what I'm saying, that English should not be an indice or an indicator of a person's intelligence. And this is so bad. In our Asian society. Coming back to what you were saying regarding the Pratham before international networking and the Pratham after international networking. So just like I was saying, that you really need to have that fire in your belly. You need to see dreams that you can fulfill. Okay, you really need to get up from your bed, and it should not be that it is a compulsion that is pulling you from your bed. That okay, I have a job at 9 a.m. at 7 a.m. and come on, I gotta get ready in 2 hours and reach my office. And you have piles of work to do over there which you're not interested in. So it's important for you to find your purpose. Okay, do what you love. There should, for example, I'll give my example. I'm gonna graduate in 19 years of age. Okay, but I have no clear plan ready what I'm gonna do after graduation. I don't have a plan B, plan A, or anything. So what I'm doing currently is I'm going with the flow. Okay, it's how life is taking me. I'm getting so many opportunities. That's all through networking, and that is how I'm making my own way. So it's important for us to understand that it's not important that whatever you think, whatever your aim is, you achieve that, or even if you achieve it, it's a 100% as you have wished it to be. Okay, so it's important for you to keep various other options open. Okay, and be inclusive, be acceptive of what you currently have, because what you currently have, there are various lakhs and lakhs of people waiting behind you and wishing that, oh God, I wish I had the same that what this person is having. So you need to really be thankful of what you've got, whatever resources, whether it's limited resources, whatever you've got. And when I talk about my journey from the previous Pratham, I really did not have a passion in me. Okay, I really did not have that driving force that woke me up from my dreams. For example, today morning I woke up with so much of zeal and zest. I knew that I'm going to speak for IOIN. I know I'm going to interact with IU. I'm going to interact with so many of you beautiful people over here. So that is something that really pulled me. That was such an enthusiasm which was lacking before. So that is what I love to do. This is what I love to do, what I am doing currently. And that is why I am here. So before this, Pratham, it would be the normal Pratham, like 2 years ago, I would get up, I would just get ready in the normal routine, go to school, come back, and it would be just my studies and studies, because we know in our Asian society, it is so much to do with studies. Academically, you need to be really good, so that you can, make your parents proud in the society, because you can really, wish to achieve all you can, because marks are seen as something is such a big indicator in our society in Asia. So this Pratham currently is not so much focused on how many marks I should score, is not currently focused on what I need to prove in the society, but this Pratham is focused on what he needs to do for himself, how he can satisfy himself, how he can reach his own fullest potential. And that is the most important thing, because you have been given one life, okay, one life, and you should do all that you can do in one life, because it's so important for you to realize that what purpose, why you've been given this life by God. Okay, I know there may be various people who are atheists and would be like, okay, this is just a universe, it's just made up of people. But I'm a religious person. People sitting here are 90% religious and would be acceptive of what I'm saying, whether you're of any other religion, that doesn't matter. But we need to know that we have been given this life for a purpose, and we, along with others, need to realize the potential. So it's not just our journey that we are taking. If for example, I'm born in my family, it's my duty, it's my responsibility to take my family, my mother, my father, my cousins, everyone, and my society ahead. If I'm here, I'm not only representing myself as Pratham Golcha, I'm representing my city, I'm representing my country, I'm representing Asia as a whole. Okay, so it's very important that you need to be self-centered. Okay, because this is such a time in life, in your 20s, especially when you're entering, that you're so conscious that I need to achieve this, I need to achieve that. Okay, but it should come from within. If until and unless it comes from within, which was not the case before. See, now I have so many opportunities. Okay, I have so many platforms where I can represent myself. Today I'm speaking from IO for IO, and tomorrow I'm going to be chairing for an MUN in Indonesia. So that does not mean that I just keep on going with the flow. Okay, it's just not like a tractor pulling a cart. Okay, we are humans. There are times when you would get fatigued, when you would get tired of all this work. And as Ayub was saying, she gave an example of herself that probably today I'm liking SDGs, 10 years down the line I might not like SDGs. So for example, right now I'm speaking for IYOIN. Next time I get an opportunity to IYOIN, I might not be accepting of it because maybe my priority would change. Maybe the circumstances I am in would change. So it's important to evolve yourself with life's circumstances, and that is how I have evolved myself. Though I may be just 19 years of age, I might not have completed my graduation, I might not have matured fully. Even my voice is not cracked. So sorry to say, but my voice is not cracked, which should have cracked. But that does not mean that it holds me back from doing all that what I want to do. So Ayub was so right in what she said, that there are so many things that you dream of, that you want to achieve, but it should come from within. It should not be that your parents are pulling you out of bed. Come on, you need to do this. You need to go to school. You need to go to college. You need to do your homework, or you need to go for work. It should come from within. And I personally feel like you need to find a job that you love doing, that you are satisfied of. You may be paid in crores, you may be paid in lakhs, probably. But until and unless you get that satisfaction at the end of the day, when you go to the bed, when you are by yourself, that okay, I have achieved this. I have fulfilled what I wished to fulfill in my life. There, that is the time that you would really reflect upon. And that is the most important thing, that you need to be happy with yourself. You need to be happy with what you are doing and with your own stuff. So yeah, again, I would say that I'm going a little more philosophical, but that is how life proceeds. That is how you really need to go ahead. That is the difference between the Pratham who was a few months ago and Pratham who is now. That the purpose, the passion, the energy, and as you said, it's just that the passion is temporary, but your own personality remains permanent. And do such a thing that people really remember you by your name, by your face. Do and make such an impact, leave such a footprint that people realize that, okay, maybe he's not a great person. Maybe I do not understand what he's saying, but probably I know his intentions, his energy, his vibes are pure. Yeah, so that is what I would like to say.
What lovely words from you, Pratham. It's not
Thank
about
you.
how good marks we get, but how much we can give to the society so they can remember with us. Okay, maybe Kak Ayu can answer my question. What is the difference between Kak Ayu then, before international many experiences, and Kak Ayu right now?
Well, the two difference would be I'm getting old right now, so the first difference. No, I'm joking. Okay, so I'm really impressed how Pratham, because you are at such young age, you have that mindset. I mean, when I was at your age, I never thought about it really. Like I was more on myself, you know, focus on myself. So I'm really impressed how you see the world, how you see yourself, how you see communities around you in that such broad perspective and mindset. You know, keep the great work. Really impressed. And from my side, what's the difference? I think international relation is about travel, you know, traveling away, maybe you're traveling physically, your idea maybe, or so on and so forth. So you travel actually to find your home. So what I'm trying to say to you is that you go everywhere, you go here, you go there, you go to this country by study, for work, for study, for anything. But at the end of the day, you're gonna going home. You're gonna find your home. And in my definition, my home is that I learn more about myself. I understand myself better compared to myself 10 years ago. Oh my God, you will see that. Okay, I'm not gonna going there. But what I'm trying to say to you is that 10 years myself then and now is that I learn myself better. I know myself better. I might be traveling a lot here and there, but the purpose, the goal, the result is only one, which is to understand myself better. And from that on, it goes to I have this capability to learn my family, my communities around me better as well. So what I'm trying to say to you is that this journey, by having this international relation, at glance it seems like you are moving away, you are going away, you are going out, but it's actually about going within, it's actually about going in, because on that journey you learn here and there, you are being away from home, you learn with people from different culture, background, countries, but actually you learn more about yourself. So you understand yourself from perspective that if I have this situation, if I've met this person, this organization, this is the reaction that I'm giving to them. So you learn more about yourself. You will be able to adapt and adopt better, and incorporate that in the future work you are going to do. So, and also, international relation is not necessarily about you are moving physically. It's more about how you are broadening your perspective by reading, by learning, peer learning with your peers, with your friends, with your teachers, with your lecturers, with your friends. So it's more about mobility, maybe physical, but also maybe spiritual. Spiritual might be from reading, from doing your spiritual work, so on and so forth. So what I'm trying to say to you is that you don't have to go so far away to find your home. Your home is always here. But sometimes God allows you to go so far away because you are so hard to get to see here when you are so close to here. So that's why you are allowed by God to go so far away, so you can see yourself in larger perspective from above, to see yourself down below, to see your home here. So at the end of the day, it's always about going within to finding your own home. And by finding your own home, you will understand yourself better. And finally, you can work on yourself, on communities around you better. And finally, you will be able to contribute in the better capacity and result to your communities, to this world in general way. So that's from my side.
It's really interesting, right? Because it sounds like contradictory. If we're traveling around the world, we even can know ourselves better and deeper. Maybe it's because we solve the problem by ourselves, something like that, Kayu. We have to solve the problem by ourselves.
It's about perspective. So when you interact to many people, especially, it's not necessarily about quantity, but it's more about quality. So you're meeting people, maybe only 5 people around you, like your neighbors, but they have broader perspective from you. So it's also adding your perspective, right? So it's not necessarily that you have to meet people from this country, that country, from that different region, from that different uh, countries with different language, but it's all about perspective. International is about perspective, because especially in this era where you can sit down like today, like I'm doing right now, and I can interact. Like today, I have like 5 webinars. I can talk to different events with different people from different time zone, but it's international, right? But what I'm trying to share is my perspective from different topic, from different touchdown, from different topic, from different team, from different uh, case that I can share to participant that I'm having. So what I'm trying to say is that it's more about idea, like I shared to you before on my presentation. It's more about idea, perspective that you can share to the world, and not necessarily about you have to move around, because if you're moving around that much, you're gonna be physically exhausted and you cannot share anything, right? Something, especially on your age, you are, what you are doing more is that you are more on, drilling, like hammering so much that you forget why I'm hammering this much, what I'm doing here, like what you're doing here. Sometimes it's just only hammering, not having any strategies. But what I'm trying to say to you is that having a strategy is more about perspective, not necessarily about the quantity. It's more about quality. The quality that you are having. It's not necessarily about how many times you have to hammer. It's more about what kind of way you are using to hammer. So working smarter, not working harder. Hard is good, but smarter is better.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Kak Ayu.
My pleasure.
Now, maybe I will give the opportunity for participants to ask their questions directly for both speakers. And maybe the first one is Farah. Farah, can you unmute your mic to ask directly? Or I just read it from chat box.
Hello.
Okay, Farah, please ask your question. Feel free to ask Kak Ayu or Pratam.
I want to ask Sir Pratham.
Okay, please.
Oh, how to build the network if
Wait a minute, Farah. Would you mind if you turn on your camera so we could see your face?
I turn on my camera?
Yeah, if you don't mind. Okay, please, Farah.
How to build a network plan if even yourself not ready to do it, and how to find the network and push your courage that you have experience in build the network.
Is it enough, Farah?
Enough.
Okay, Pratam, did you get the point from Farah? Wait a minute. Please unmute your mic first, Pratam.
Okay. Is it okay now?
Okay, please.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was saying, can you just rephrase the question once in a short way?
Wait a minute. How to build a network or a plan if we not ready enough and still have fear, something fear to start?
Okay. So I'll
And
read the question. I'll read the question over here.
okay,
Okay, how to build a network or a plan if even yourself not ready to do it and still have the fear to start? And how do we find and start the network? Do you have an experience in building that? Okay, so am I audible? Is it okay?
okay, please.
Okay, so first of all, there is nothing to fear, okay, because you are doing it for yourself. As I said before, you are not doing it to show anybody, okay. And as far as building the network is concerned, as I told you, that you must first of all go and search on the internet and find opportunities that you like, and research your purpose. Okay, it's important to understand what you wish to achieve, what you wish to do, and then you should build up on that. As I said, and I am a psychology student, I can just tell you a few tests that could be done so that you could, use the analytical tools, or you can do the aptitude tests to test yourself and understand where you actually belong. That helps you to understand whether you are suited for which profession you are suited for, and that is how you can start building upon. For example, if you do your test and it is recognized that you could be a good teacher or probably good in hospitality sector, what you can do is you can build international networks. There are so many sites there, like LinkedIn. Okay, there are so many social media websites that you can use to build your networks and join these organizations. And there is no fear, as I said, because don't fear, because you do not have to prove anything to anybody, but you have to prove it to yourself. And it is not important that for the first time you achieve what you wish to achieve. You might have a lot of roadblocks. You might not succeed for the first time, for the second time, for the third time, but that should not mean that you stop yourself. Have you seen a red ant? A red ant? How the red ant tries to climb the wall. It falls. So many times it falls. But does it leave itself? It has to feed itself. It has to find a living. It still goes on and on. You see a spider making a cobweb on the walls. It fails. How many times we just pull that cobweb off? It has to make it again and again and again. But does he stop living? No, he does not. So that means you should have a never say die attitude, okay? You should just keep trying and trying and trying. Maybe out of 10 times, you might get success once, but you need to really capitalize on that success. And there's absolutely no need to fear on that. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Pratham, for the answer. Is it enough, Farah, to answer your question?
That's enough.
Okay, thank you, Farah. And
My
maybe the next one, I would ask Sekar to ask directly.
Hello everyone, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Uh,
Wait a minute. Would you mind to
uh,
turn on your camera?
I think I cannot turn my video on, but is that okay?
Okay, it's okay.
I'm
Go
sorry
ahead.
for that. Okay, first of all, I would like to thank Miss Ayu and Mr. Pratham for all the lessons, and do not forget to thank our moderator. Thank you so much. And my question is how to find and determine our ikigai or purpose of life, because sometimes actually I I experience I still cannot find or determine ourselves, like myself, moreover our ikigai. So I hope Kak Ayu or Pratham would like to give us or me tips and trick for that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sekar. Maybe Kak Ayu first would
Okay.
answer Sekar's question.
Thank you, Sekar. So I see all question here on chat box. I think it's all about being fearful, having fear, and also about English challenge, speaking in English. So what I'm trying to share with you is that uh, we are all scared, right? Brave people is scared people. Brave people is are people that are daring greatly out of fear. Once again, I repeat, brave people are people that are daring greatly out of fear. So in Indonesia it will be orang berani adalah orang takut yang memberanikan diri. Orang berani adalah orang takut yang memberanikan diri. So we're all scared. We are all scared. Like right now, we are all scared. Maybe I'm gonna having my internet off. Maybe because of the weather. Maybe it's gonna the blackout here, so on and so forth. We are having our own fear, but what matter is what we are going to do with that fear, right? And that differentiate, separate from people to the people builder, from change maker to change claimer. So that's one thing. And in terms of finding ikigai, so like I shared to you before, I have an exercise. You might want to do that as your first, your initial step. So I think the committee will be sharing the presentation to participants. So you might want to be starting your path from that. But the core is that ikigai is only, it's more about exercising. It's more about like a tool, like a media, not necessarily like uh, something that you are obligated to, to obey to, because if you're not having that right now, so you're not having life like that. I mean, it's only a tool that helping you to find your direction, to find your where you are going, where you are heading towards. So what I'm trying to say to you is that, um, see it as a tool, but at the end of the day, it's always going within. It's always about talking to yourself, getting to know yourself, because so many people are so busy scavenging outside, trying to fill the gap inside them by, binge eating, binge watching, by being high achiever also. Because when I was at your age, I'm also a high achiever, and I just realized that I did that during my early 20s, because I was avoiding my own internal issue, my own internal pain. So many people are trying to avoid their own internal pain, their own internal conflict cause, or family cause pain trauma, because by working harder on not working at all. So it's gonna be really extreme, going working crazily or not working at all. So find the right cause, why you are starting off your journey, and that's the core message of ikigai itself. So finding the purpose when you're having calmness, when you are in your own element. I know it sounds like pipeline, it sounds like, what are you trying to say? I don't understand. I know, but that's why I'm saying this is exercise. This is ongoing process. You're not gonna having it right now, especially at your age, because you're still young. You are young, and being young is beneficial disadvantage, because when you are having mistakes, people will say that's okay. He's still young. She's still young. So that's your advantage actually. But many people see young people say that because I'm young, I'm still lacking in this. I'm still lacking this. I don't have money. I don't have capacity. I don't have capability. That's natural because you are still young. You are still like 20, 19, 18. Like what you learn. I mean, I myself, when I was 18, I feel like I didn't learn anything. So what I'm trying to say to you is that chill out, chill out, chill out. Having more gratitude, having more gratitude, having more gratitude. I have to say this 3 times because so many people, like when I say it one time, they will say, I cannot ka. Then I say it 2 times, I cannot ka. So many times that I finally say that just having gratitude, even it's really hard to find something to be grateful on. Like close your eyes and saying that I'm grateful, 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 like it's like out of your mind. But the first time you're doing that, it feels weird because we're not used to it because we're more, especially in today's world, we're more on complaining, right? We are seeing more on negativity, different perspective, seeing more on different rather than using that differences as our strength, because human is actually equipped with inclination tendency to see negativity because it's our way to survive, amygdala, like the part of our brain, and it's more sensitive on negativity because that's how we were when we were having revolutionized. So as a human being, the perfect one that we have having today. So what I'm trying to say to you is that um, whatever you are having right now, whatever challenge you are having right now, use it as an opportunity to learn instead of a challenge, instead of a moment to make you to have you quit, to have you stop. Because maybe you're gonna have learn to take a break, but not quitting. Learn to take a break, not quitting. So just be grateful, just having more gratitude in this world. Because if you master gratitude and forgiveness in this world, you are unstoppable. I can tell you that. That's the only 2 skills that everyone should have. People talk about having, more skill on technology, on public speaking, so on and so forth. But you're not having forgiveness and gratitude. You're not in the first trial that you're having uh, to learn communication, to learn technology, even only small or minor mistake, you're gonna have, I'm done, I'm gonna throw the towel in, I'm giving up. That's if you're not having gratitude and forgiveness. So it's actually really real practice. it's not necessarily, it's not about theory, it's not like pipe dreams, empty words. But if you're having really mastering gratitude and forgiveness, you're unstoppable. Even when you are being hated, you are being bullied by everyone else in this world, when you're having that, you're going to be unstoppable, right? Because when you believe yourself, you don't have to force everyone to believe in you, because it's not about everyone, it's always about you. And the key word here is that you attract people not because of you, but because of your purpose, because of the mutually shared purpose that you are having. That's from my side.
Thank you very much, Kak Ayu. Is it enough, Scarf, from Kak Ayu answer?
I think you spoken really, really well. I don't think there's anything to add to it. But there's just one thing that I would like to add, and those are some practical methods that you can use for practicing gratitude and finding the purpose. So first of all, finding the purpose, do one thing. This is a practical thing, okay? All of you 67 participants here can do this, including me. So what you do is for 1 month, take a rose, okay, a flower, and just hold it and focus on it, okay, for 1 minute, just 1 minute, 60 seconds, and do not let your mind wander to anything else except for the characteristics of a rose. Just focus on the color of the rose, on the smell of the rose, and all the other characteristics. This is the best way to find your own purpose, and that is practically done by me. This is written in one of the great books that is known as The Monk of the Ferrari. This is a personal experience that I'm sharing with you. I repeat again, just take a rose and for 1 month, just focus on the rose and the characteristics of the rose and nothing else. You'll find your purpose, I assure you. Then the second thing that you can do for gratitude is when you go to bed in the night, just take a piece of paper and write down the things that you thank God for what you have. Okay, this you might think, okay, I'll just plan it out in my mind and I think I'll be done with it. No, write it down, write it down. Let yourself know, count on that, okay, the things that you have. And I'm sure when you look at the list and compare the list of what you have compared to what you don't have, you would realize that you are in such a good position. Okay, if I think today what I don't have, okay, maybe I'm not a millionaire, maybe I don't have a Ferrari, okay, maybe I've not scored 100% in my college, but if you look, okay, I've got up, I've got a bed to sleep on, I've got parents, I've got my house, my stomach is filled, I've got clothes to put on, I've got a good social life, I've got everything. So these are the small things that you ponder or focus on and make a list of it. Every day, make a list of things that you're thankful for. And I know our religions, our Asian religions of Islam, or our religions of Hinduism, of Islam, they're so very inherent that every day they make you realize, they make you reflect on what all God has given you. And this is very important in the context of international relations or whatever, networking or anything. Until and unless you are clean, pure, and willing to do from inside, nothing else can pull you off. Okay, so practice these two things. One, the rose technique for realizing your purpose, and the second thing is preparing the list of what you've got versus the list you've not got during the bedtime, and make sure that you have a longer list for the things you have, because I can even count flowing water or having a spoon to eat as something that you've got to God. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Pratham, for your answer. Is it enough, Scarf, for both speakers?
Yeah, it's enough. Thank you for answering my question to Pratham and Kak Ayu.
Thank you so much, Scarf.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe the next question is from Aditya Kumar. Aditya Kumar, you could ask directly, but only for one speakers, either
Oh,
it Kak Ayu or Kak Pratham
okay.
maybe.
First of all, good morning to all the host present here. My question is to Pratham sir. Pratham sir, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So sir, like I want to ask that what was your first step which like bro helped you in getting connected with international community? And
All right. So you want to know how I really started from, right?
Yes, like when you were of my age only, I think at that time only you started building international relations. So like, can you
Exactly.
please tell from starting?
Okay, so I'll just to save time and just to keep it short. So I was just saying that what happened is I just told you it started from the Asia Youth International Annual. That was my first international exposure. I was just
Okay, sir.
scrolling through Instagram, okay, and while scrolling through, I got this advertisement. I signed up for it, and that was also while playing badminton or while just watching television. It was very very simple because I could never imagine myself being a single child and brought up in those circumstances. And when you are in India, especially, you know that you're not that open as you should be, okay, because of various other societal factors. So it was just not even a dream, I should say, honestly. I
Yeah.
just, went step by step. I just took many little steps. I started to see dreams. I started to imagine myself. And this is the law of manifestation, let me tell you. To manifest something in your life, whether it is relationships, whether it is work, whether it is anything, you need to imagine yourself over there. Think you
Okay.
have won the battle halfway if you imagine yourself doing that. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
getting okay. So I just did that, and the circumstances worked in my favor. Of course, I won't say that it's all luck. It is mostly 90% your hard work and fortune
Yes,
favors the
definitely.
brave. Okay, so
Yes.
you need to keep working hard, take it step by step, and
Yeah.
the most important thing is not to get flawed away or just flown away by the failures. Failures are bound
Yeah.
to happen. It's not that I've reached here, I'm speaking over here for I, and I haven't faced rejections or I haven't faced failures. Though I am really happy that those are just probably I could count on my fingers, just a couple of them. But until and unless you really, you fall down, you can't really get up. So if you tell a small child, okay, don't go over there, you'll get hurt, the child won't listen. But the day the child will fall himself, and then he will realize, oh, this is what I've been told. So if I'm telling you this, you probably will just understand the gist of it. But until unless you go through that journey yourself, personally
Yes, sir.
experience it, yeah, so that is how you could imbibe upon. But that 50% that you get from me would be of how I completed, how I, overcame my flaws, how I worked on my strengths. And let me
Yeah,
tell you, the
got it,
most
sir.
important thing is how you communicate. You usually need to have a good tongue while speaking. You might be getting like crores of rupees working in a big white collar job, but until unless you know how to speak well to others, how to respect others, because since you're from Indian descent, I know. So I can tell you even for Indonesia, I can say that we have got a lot of warmth in us. Okay, we have got
Yes,
a lot
sir.
of values. We've got a lot of traditions in our societies. So that is
Yes.
something which we have got from beginning, which is our very heritage, the Asian heritage. And
Yes.
that is not something that is something very alien to us like it is in the West. Okay, that is something that they really need to um, you know, uh, digest from the Asian culture. They really need to take a cue from us. But for us, it is very much to ourselves, right? So I would just say that take all these factors into consideration. And there's absolutely nothing that not even God can stop you from achieving what you wish to achieve if
Yes.
you believe in yourself.
Okay.
That's it.
Yes, sir. And so my another question is like, how you used to like search for the opportunities? Like, how you used to make out that this is the correct opportunity for me?
Make the most of the internet. That is how I would keep it
Like,
very very
no,
short.
like I was not knowing about this conference. Yesterday only I saw your Insta story. Then I just took your help and registered here. So, and now I'm sitting here. So like, how just used to like just scroll Insta and like get the opportunities? Was it like that for you?
Yeah, so I would say that make the most of internet. That means look out for opportunities, look out for places that you can, show your talent. Or it's not the rat race that you just go and fill in all the 10 forms and then you are like wondering which one would accept me. Go for the one which you are sure of, okay? Because I'm sure there's nobody on this earth who has not got any of the resources or who's not got talents or everyone has got some or the other talent, okay? So
Yes.
it's important to first recognize it and then look for what can really help you achieve that. For example, I know that communication is my key, okay? So for communication, I knew that something like this, speaking for IOIN, doing MUN sharing, this is something that I would like. There are various other things that I do, I am the chief facilitator in the Philippines for the United Nations courses. So these are things that
Nice.
help me communicate and help me achieve what I want to. So yeah, that is how it goes.
And so, like when I attended 21st conference of IMAN, and when I came to know that the Pratham's the head chair is just 19 years old, then we all were like just shocked that how come a boy of 19 years old is doing the head
See, I'm
chairing.
again telling you, age is not a factor. Even a child of 16 years could come up over here and and speak even better than me. So age is not a factor. It is just how mature you are, how aware you are in this life, how you adapt
Yes,
yourself to the circumstances, and
yes, sir.
importantly, how you can portray or convey or communicate your feelings or how you feel. So that's the most
Mhm.
important thing.
And the last
Okay,
point, how should I start?
okay,
Begin. Okay.
Aditya, thank
Take.
you for the
Yeah.
question, but I think that about due to the limited time,
Okay.
maybe
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
we
got it,
will
sir.
give
Yes,
chance to the other. Thank you,
yes, sir.
Aditya.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Because of the limited time, maybe I would combine the last two questions from Gifari Yusuf Adrian, and also Gloria Khairunisa. For the first one, from Gifari, how if we not fluent English in the way that I building networking in international relationship? Because we are must use English language when we have conversation to each other, and how to handle language barriers, especially in English, because I think it's make me afraid to build international relationship. So I think it's the problem about the way we speak in English. And the second one, what did we can do if people tell you are not good at English and that people say that you shouldn't join the international relations and it makes you afraid to join international relations? Maybe the point from the second question is, what should we do if some people underestimate us? Maybe for short answer, Kak Ayu, and then short answer also from Pratam.
Okay. I'm gonna quoting one statement from Pratam. He said that people picture you are remembered, right? I'm gonna add one statement on that by saying that people will not remember what you do to them, but they will remember how you treat them. So the way you treat, the way you do, it's different. That is fine line. So what I'm trying to say to you is that stop expecting, because that is the source of our pain. If you are too much expecting to people that they're gonna returning something because you have done something to them, it's not gonna work. You're gonna adding like fuel to fire, because it's gonna add more on your pain, on your suffering. That's one thing. The second one would be um, networking. If not having fluent English. So just practice, because everyone has their own weakness on how to starting international relationship. Maybe you're having good communication skill, but maybe you are having issue in terms of interpersonal issue. That one thing you have to be working on. So you know yourself, you know your soft spot, your blind spot, your soft spot, and then you're gonna learn your blind spot, and from there on you have to work on that, because we're all having issue, we're all having gaps, but is it, which one is more important, your goal, which is international relationship, or your gap, your issues, which is communication, English challenge, so on and so forth. From my experience, I learned English when I was in junior high school. I learned from watching Disney's movie, because it used really good English, formal English. So but in today's world, you can use like LinkedIn, you can do by reading more from book, from watching TED Talk, from participating more on webinar like this, international webinars, or just practicing with your friends. So there are so many ways you can practice your English. And like I said before, it's not necessarily about how you do it, because um, people will remember how you treat them, not necessarily what you do to them. So if you're just being sweet person, good person, to people, they will remember you, even though you're not having good communication skill, especially in English, because so many people are having their challenges, but they're still being accepted in international networking because they have good personal skill, they have good personality, and that's one major point. That one thing that differentiates, separate people, even though they're having highest IQ, they're having good grade, they're having good communication skills, but they are poor in personality and how they are treating people. So work on that, and everything just will be, adding on to that personality. Personality first, attitude first, and then altitude. Altitude will be like language, like your communication skill, how you approach, so on and so forth.
Thank you very much, Kak Ayu. Yeah, maybe I have some addition. There's no choice but practice and practice in anything, in terms of English or in our self-assessment or something else. I think there's no choice but practice. And the second one, please, Pratham, give your answer for these two questions, but in short way because the limited of
Okay.
time.
Which question do you want me to answer?
Uh, Two of them about, especially about English, I think, in these two questions
What can you
about the
do if you're
barriers.
not good at English? Is that one?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so for English, I again would say in the age of technology, it's very important to make the most of the internet. You have various apps, for example, Duolingo. You can go on that. You can understand the basics of English and try and just not focus. I speak it again. I've said it before as well. Try and not make English as an indicator of your intellect. Okay, it's okay if you're not good at English. It's fine. That's absolutely okay. And as far as the people are concerned, don't bother about what people say if they try to bring you down, because if you are self-motivated, if you are self-driven in your pursuit to achieve your goal or objective, there's nobody who can stop you. And for English, I would say that you can make use of, as I said, Duolingo, as well as you can try learning it online on classes. And please don't get played away by the thing that probably you are in the 20s and how can you kind of learn English? What would people say? Am I that bad with English that I don't know at the age of 20s how to speak? It's not that. Okay, there's no age limit to anything. You can access these opportunities. You can probably buy a few workbooks from the bookstores and work on the basics. So please don't move to the higher level English if you've not had your basics correct. So make your foundation, learn the different verbs, adjectives, or whatever goes into making your English perfect, grammatical way, and then you can kind of start speaking, uh, you know, in an environment that feeds English. So it's very important that you get an environment where you can speak English, because it's happened with me that mostly in my family we speak English at home. So that is the reason why I've been able to speak such good English. So make it a point to surround yourself with people or opportunities where you can speak in English. That would help you to realize how you can listen, how you can ponder, how you can work upon your English. Because listening is one such thing that can help you to acquire more words and vocabulary. Okay, so try and listen to English. Try and go to YouTube, listen to English movies or podcasts that can help you, increase your understanding. But simply take a dictionary, scroll through the dictionary every day, 2 pages, 3 pages, look at the word meanings. So yeah, these are some of the ways how you can get better at English. And let not English make you feel that that's the end of the world. There's a whole more world to it. You can work in Bahasa Indonesia. Like I know you can do wonders. You go in Jakarta, there are so many friends of mine working who don't know in English, but they're doing so well just speaking in Indonesian language. So just don't make English the sole basis of your identity. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Pratham and Kayu, for the answers. Maybe we come to the end of this meeting, and before I would try to summarize some points from Kayu and also Pratham. Now, an international is not only about physics, mobility, but also an idea. And it's not a choices. We can take it or leave it. And then we should contribute in the world as a world citizen. And then SDG was born as expansion of MDGs. in the previous era. And from Kayu, all movements are begin by an idea of one person. So it started from an idea and then transformed to the big movement. And also we are all leaders in our platform. And then leadership is a combination of roles and function to achieve a big purpose in our life. And the last one from Kayu, finding your ikigai. There is 4 aspects: what you're good at, what the community need, and what you love, and then what you can get paid for. And then from Pratham, there are 3 points: the benefits and also skills needed and experiences about international relations. For the benefit, we can build up our confidence, develop meaningful relations, and varied dimensions of viewing things and broadening our perspective. And last but definitely not least, access to fresh ideas. And the skills that needed for international relations is appropriate infrastructure, communication skills, know the other country culture, aims and objectives to be fulfilled, and development of a networking plan. And Pratham experiences in international relations is communication, meaningful long-term relationships, youth opportunities, growth factors, and overall development of personality. Okay, guys, now I would inform you that you have some essay assignment. Maybe committee could help me to share the screen. Hello, Kak Anin, could you help me to share the screen about the essay assignment? Okay, I will read it in Bahasa. Topic essay, there are 2 topics, and topic 1, ceritakan pengalaman kalian dalam membangun jaringan internasional, berorganisasi, ataupun yang lainnya. Berikan tujuan dan motivasi dengan membangun jaringan tersebut. Topik yang kedua, how to deal with nowadays issues or current issues in SDGs. Berikut ketentuan isinya terdiri dari 400 sampai 700 kata, margin kanan 4, atas 3, kiri 3, dan bawah 4 cm. Untuk ukuran fontnya bisa menggunakan ukuran 12 dengan jenis font Times New Roman, menggunakan kertas ukuran A4 dan format PDF. Untuk format penamaan file, nama _ essay networking class, dan untuk pengumpulannya bisa dilihat pada link berikut. Mungkin untuk linknya bisa dikirim ke chat box. Dan berikut untuk timeline pengumpulan essay. Batas pengumpulannya H+3 acara hari ini, yaitu 27 Oktober 2020. Dan untuk essay yang terbaik akan mendapatkan hadiah dari IYOIN. Dan akan diumumkan pada 30 Oktober 2020. Oke, thank you Kak Anin. Okay, guys, we are coming to the end of today's meeting. And before we close this, I would give the opportunity again for 2 speakers to give very short closing statement. Hopefully, it could increase our motivation to gain international relations. For the first, Kak Ayu, please give yours in a very short way.
Okay, very short. We are coming from different countries, different language, but we are living on the same planet, same Earth. So we're actually global citizens. So I think we should do more on being active global citizenship, which is being actively advocating global agenda, which is SDG. I'm gonna be marketing SDG on every event I'm in, so bear with me. So on that note, let's create a better place to all of us for today's generation and the future. And on that note, also pick your battles, win war, not battles, because we're having battles every day, right? So pick your battle wisely and work on greater good, greater purpose, which is what is the world is doing right now on achieving right now SDGs. So work on that, and we're gonna be good. And on personal level, having more ready to practice every day and practice more on forgiveness. That's for me.
Thank you very much, Kak Ayu. And then the next one, please, Pratham, in a very short way.
It's very, very difficult for me and you to just keep it very short. It's very, very difficult. So, okay. So what I would say is whether it's making international relations, whether it is networking, whether it is your personal life, whether it is anything, as I said, practice gratitude, practice forgiveness, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, know how to communicate well, be positive. These are some of the points that I would say. Apart from which, there are various other ways that I told you. Two practical methods which I explained to you, the Rose method, and the other one was writing down everything at the end of the day. These are two methods that I told you that you could follow. And apart from this, wish well for everyone, be clean and pure from your heart. And apart from that, just help others, I can say, because I personally am so sorry to bring my personal views in, but I am a Hindu, so I believe in the process of karma. So karma is not a bit as it is said in modern world. Karma is a very good process. So what goes around comes around. If you help others, if you give happiness and everything to others, it comes back to you in unexpected ways. Okay, so do good, be good, and just don't expect it to come in the way that you want it to. It could come in some other form, but just keep giving your best, and don't let the world bother you. It's you yesterday versus you today, and probably it's transformative. It's you at the 11th hour versus you at the 12th hour, if you are really that progressive. So yeah, there's no stopping you, and I think that is it from me. And I think Ayu was too good. She was she is elder to me, so I can say that she spoke really well in a matured way. And at the end, I would like to thank all of you, our respected moderator, all the participants over here who joined me from my behalf, and especially to IYOIN for giving me this opportunity. So it's a thumbs up for me, for all of you. I hope and I wish the best for all of you, and let's rejoice all that we have learned. So yeah.
Okay, thank you, Pratham. Before we close this meeting, this is gonna be most awaited moment for us. We are going to take virtual photo together as a new habit during this pandemic. Okay, guys, please turn on your camera. We would take virtual photo together. Maybe Kak Anin can help me to command the participants to count down photo session. Hello, please, guys, turn on all of your camera. We are going to take virtual photo. Okay, Kak Anin, could you count down?
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Again, 1, 2, 3. Okay, done.
Yay!
Okay, thank you so much, Kak Anin. All right. Now we are at the end of today's meeting. I'm Haris, as a representative of all the committee, would like to thank you very much for Kak Ayu, especially, and Pratham. It's such a big honor for me to be the moderator of today's meeting. And unforgettable for all the participants that have active participate and support this meeting. Hopefully that this event would give some valuable things and give positive impacts for all of us. I apologize that perhaps during this meeting there's some of my words are not supposed to be. And the last I say, Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Kak Ayu.
Bye. Take care. Salam
Bye.
from India to all of you. Take
Thank you,
care.
everyone. Take
I am
care.
gonna connect with you really soon, Ayu.
Yes, I'm going waiting for you, Pratam.
Yeah, sure.